Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are pushing into the USA here. Last episode, we managed to take over all of Cuba, and at this point, the USA is the only remaining person in the war against us. We haven't called in any of our allies. We haven't needed to be honest, and we don't really expect to need to. So that'll be fine. I think we're going to pretty much immediately delete this order, and let's go ahead and set up a new offensive line, with that offensive line pretty much just being the US border here. Like, I don't expect that we're going to have a huge amount of problem pushing through this. I really don't. So we're just going to push on over like this, and there is a little bit over here that we're not going to be getting into, but for the time being, we'll just do that. Let's get that underway. What we're most interested in right now is apparently research. I don't remember this being completely empty, but okay. So there are some researches that we still need to finish off, so we may as well. All of these are full. So we'll hop into the naval support area, and we'll get started on that. Only 5 days to finish up that. Oh, we must have interrupted some of these accidentally. It doesn't really matter. We'll get them all done soon enough. So that'll be fine. We'll get that all underway. And then we're going to need to continue to push in. Obviously, this is fine. We need to finish up our constructions down here. And logistically, we need to finish up some of this stuff, but ultimately I think this is fine for the moment. I don't think we're going to run into major issues pushing into the US, and if we do, we can just build additional logistics. It'll be fine. So we're going to go ahead and continue to research here. The improved medium battery. We've got these divisions, or I guess this division, that we can just toss into our reserves. Sounds good to me. And for the time being, these guys are all just chilling here. I don't see any need to do any naval invasions of the USA here. I think this is completely fine. Now, we do have a free dockyard, apparently. Oh, right. We're working on our dockyards right now because we're going to work on actually making a navy at some point. Wow, 20 stacks of dockyard there? That's a lot. That's a whole lot. So we're going to have some empty dockyards here. And the reason for that is because we're working on getting our navies, or rather our ships, much more finished, shall we say. We need the technology, is what I'm trying to say there. So all of these guys, this light tank brigade can go into our reserves. The rest of these should definitely head here. There we go. That'll do. And yes, this army group doesn't have orders. That's fine for the time being. We may want to think about actually justifying on Nubia here. That'll only take 10 days. Never mind. That'll only take 10 days. So we'll come back. Actually, let's get started on moving some of these guys over. So we'll surround Nubia. We'll have these guys surround Congo. And there's some territory out over here. We can also work on that if we wanted to, but let's go for Swahilia. And then these guys will head down like this direction. But we're not quite ready to fully encircle that just yet. And we'll take over Africa soon enough. Now, I do want to check to see, yep, we can still work on developing some of this. Let's get that all underway. Beautiful. Okay, so these guys are all shipping out. That looks good. Oh my. There's very little opposing us here. So this isn't going to be a problem. I think I'm feeling quite confident in saying that. All of these infantry divisions should get sorted in here. There we go. And basic heavy battery, improved light battery both finish up. We're just going to continue working our way through this, and then we'll make ourselves some navies. I mean, we're in such a privileged position here, we can afford to wait. I'm not concerned. So that'll be fine. Yeah, this is completely and totally okay. All of these guys can head over here. There we go. Perfect. Now we don't really have infrastructure out here in this general area. We don't have supply infrastructure built for that. That's okay. We have all of these unassigned divisions here. We'll just toss them into this army, but I'm going to grab 3 of these divisions and put them here, just so that we know that we're done with our infantry in all of these locations. We need more infantry in these 2, and in total we need 9 plus 16, so 25. We're recruiting 30 right now. I'm going to cancel this one. Just the one for the moment. Well, here's 2 additional. So we can cancel 2 more. 1 and not that one. 2. There we go. We're going to want to take this down to like 4 eventually. But the USA is currently crumbling. Are you on aggressively attack? Why don't you aggressively attack? I don't think there's any reason not to. So go ahead and do that. We'll push on in. No problem whatsoever. Here's a bunch more infantry and a tank. So we'll toss that in here. And now we know that we need exactly 16 infantry. So we're going to bring this down to 16. There we go. Beautiful. That is the amount of infantry that we know we need. So that'll be absolutely fine. We've got these 2 modern tank brigades here, and we're just going to slot those in here. Perfect. Okay, small caliber armor piercing shell, improved medium battery, both finish up here. Let's grab advanced light battery, as well as a medium caliber semi-armor piercing shell. Cool. And we're just continuing to work our way on through this. Of course, we're pushing through the USA at the same time. This is not particularly challenging. I'm going to tell this guy to just clean up the Baja there. Perfect. In fact, we can probably just clean up this area too, can't we? Just do something kind of like this. Cool. That should do the trick. The U.S.'s capital is in Kentucky. That's vaguely entertaining to me. I don't know why. It's just vaguely entertaining. So obviously they don't have the troops to defend this wide of a front. This front is way, way too wide for them. Like, look at this. This front stretches from the border of California all the way to the Atlantic. They can't match us on that front. They simply can't. So that's absolutely great. And at this point, we're going to grab the armor-piercing capped shell. Cool. And we'll have this all cleaned up. There we go. So we're completely cleaned up over here. Louisiana is not in this war. Nova Scotia is not in this war. And neither is Angelina, whoever Angelina is. They're Yankee American, apparently. Whatever. Sure. So that's all great. We are definitely going to crush the USA quite soon here. And it's not been particularly challenging, but we expected that, to be honest. We're still in the early stages here of cleaning up the bits that we already had, but imported in a kind of strange way. So we don't expect this area to be particularly challenging. I would like to come down here and attack Nubia once our troops arrive over here, but it looks like we're still a ways away. So that'll be fine. This infantry division can definitely go into our reserves. And that's all absolutely fine. Cool. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Huh? Interesting. That's the capital of the U.S. right now. Well, we're definitely going to grab advanced medium dual-purpose battery. There we go. And we'll have our navies ready to go soon. But there's the USA capitulating. Cool. So we can just select all here. And this all becomes our territory. We'll submit those demands. And yeah, that's going to bump up the world tension a wee bit. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. And we will confirm and exit. Cool. Okay, at this point, we've been embargoed by Nova Scotia. Hilarious. So at this point, we are going to position Army Group North here, which really should be like Army Group North America at this point. But we're going to position them to be set up along this border here. So they go here. These guys are going to be set up along... Can we just Army Group this? Hang on. So if we army group this and frontline here, yeah, I don't think we can edit this frontline to go this direction. Yeah, that's not going to work. That is unfortunate. I wish that we could do it that way, but we cannot, alas. So we're going to set this up like, not like that. That's definitely the button we're looking for. Okay, we're going to set this up like so. One here. One here. One here, which is quite a bit larger. And then one here, which is, again, quite a bit larger. And then this last one, I guess they can be positioned, like, right here on this border with Nova Scotia. Which Nova Scotia did just embargo us, so that's exciting. Exciting to be sure. So we do need to wait for our troops to arrive over this way. We're starting to arrive, but we're not all here yet. Advanced Light Battery finishes up. And we are going to grab, I think, Improved Heavy Battery will be absolutely fine. There we go. Cool. I would really like to attack Nubia, but where are these guys? They're just chilling. I guess they can't make their way over right now. Presumably because we have too many already heading overseas. Or something along those lines. Or this doesn't have a naval base on it. I believe it doesn't have a naval base on it. So we're going to need to build a level 1 naval base. We don't care about any more than that. But a level 1 naval base at the beginning of the queue, here and here. We're probably going to need one up over this direction as well. There is one here, but we'll build one here. And I think that should do the trick. These guys don't have orders, so that is understood. How did these guys end up here? I don't know. Regardless, it's fine. So we have these infantry divisions. They are going to fill out this army a bit. Cool. And we have a research slot available. So we're, of course, going to continue plowing our way through the naval support area. And unassigned divisions. Over here we go. So we now know that we need only 7. So we're going to cancel all of these guys. Beautiful. And these others are finishing up. So we're going to get rid of those. And as soon as this one is done, which will be now, we'll do that. And then we'll just sit at 4. So this will be fine for our recruitment. And these 3 divisions will go here. Cool. This division will also go there. And this one, these 2. And this one. Cool. So that is all of our infantry assigned over. We need a new technology to be researched, and that is going to be the Advanced Dual-Purpose Battery. And we'll grab... It doesn't really matter too much at this point. We're just cruising our way through these technologies. That is our primary goal. Now, I am noticing that we've lost a lot of world tension. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. But these guys are on their way over now, finally, now that we've finished up those level 1 naval bases and they can actually depart. So that is helpful, to be sure. Very, very helpful. So we're going to be finishing up all of this nonsense eventually. That's a lot of dockyards. That's a whole lot of dockyards. Naval bases and military factories. To be honest, we don't need all of that. Not right now. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to prioritize building infrastructure virtually everywhere. Lots and lots of infrastructure as the absolute top priority. There's a lot of this that needs to be built. Like a ridiculous amount of infrastructure. And there might be some areas that I end up missing. But we're just going to make our way through all of Europe, maximizing the infrastructure here. And the reason that we are looking to max the infrastructure is because infrastructure increases raw resource extraction, which is important. We need all the raw resources that we can get. There's a lot of them, and we need more. So we're going to boost all of this infrastructure up. Yes, that will take a while, and yes, that's completely okay. So let's get this all queued up. Europe is going to be the longest section for sure, but we're nearly through the roughest portion of it. There's going to be a few areas like this. Oh, that's basically impossible to see. Perfect. Okay. So let's get this all built up here. Lots of infrastructure to be built. We're at peace right now, and this is completely fine. I'm okay with remaining at peace for a little bit. I don't know if the AI is okay with it, but given our size, I'm guessing they are. This down here is not our territory, so we're not necessarily too keen on building infrastructure there. So we're just going to be aiming for areas that we ourselves hold. Cool. So we now need to get through India here. Oh, missed a little bit over here. Cool. There we go. And then we will queue up Africa and then South America. And the Caribbean. And that'll be absolutely great. Cool. And there's some stuff out over here. Not all of this is going to be part of Armenia. Like, this is Armenia and Madagascar here. So we definitely want to get all of this queued up. And we can queue up more factories later as well, but I honestly don't think we'll need them. But infrastructure is always good. So we definitely want to get our infrastructure construction underway. I'm not expecting this to be all that lengthy of a process either. Each of these is not too long to construct. It's going to be like 3 to 5 months per province overall. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. So we'll just get all this infrastructure built up and get our economy that much more online. Missed a spot there, I guess. Cool. But Africa is nearly queued up here. Okay, we'll call that good. There might be a couple of bits that we missed here and there, but I'm not too concerned about it. So we're going to hop down here and work on North and South America. Which shouldn't really take all that long, to be honest. Okay. We'll bring this on up. Make sure to grab the Galapagos, which may or may not be controlled by us directly, but that's completely fine. And actually, a lot of Cuba is already done. Cool. Good job on that one, AI. I like it. We will, of course, continue to build where the AI didn't. And we've got big construction deficits. No surprises here. This is completely and totally fine. Okay. Missed a bit over here. There we go. But I think that is... Oh, what are you? There we go. I think that is everything, or approximately everything. Now, this stuff out over here, we don't directly control. So we're not going... Well, we could queue it up. Just to get it out of the way. And not have to look at it anymore. Sure. We can do that. So this stuff over here, just get that done. Something like that. I mean, these out over here is much more difficult to tell whether this is all constructed or not, right? Much more difficult to tell. This is all considered foreign territory out here, so we can't build in that. But we can definitely make sure that Hawaii is built up, and surprisingly it is. That actually surprises me quite a lot. I don't know why that would be built up. Very strange to me. But we'll get Japan queued up, and the Philippines. Some of this isn't our territory, but... Oh, I think we missed a spot here. Cool. We'll call that good for now, and we'll get all of that construction underway. But any of this that is not directly controlled by us, we're going to move down to the bottom of the priority. Like that. Okay. Now, this will take quite a long time to construct. Ooh, hello. Falkland Islands, and I saw one down here, but I think I missed it on this pass. I don't think it was this far. It doesn't really matter all that much, though. We'll call this good. We'll get all of this infrastructure under construction. That's going to take a while. No doubt about it. So this is looking to be done when? 8 October? That's really not so bad. Hello. We definitely missed Greenland. Let's get that going. And Alaska. We missed Alaska, too. Let's get that all going. Beautiful. Okay. Looks good to me. So, at this point, we definitely need to get this research slot being used. Super heavy armor-piercing shell sounds good. We are not in position over here just yet. Although we're getting close. So that's good. We know that it's only 10 days, so we definitely want to get into position here before we start fabricating. Of course, it may not be 10 days anymore. Some things have changed. 70 and 85 days. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started on this one. We can also work on Congo simultaneously. 145 days. We'll get that underway. And this one is going to be very, very slow if we do this now. Yeah, that's a full year. So I think we'll wait on that. Super heavy armor-piercing shell, advanced dual-purpose battery looks good. We'll grab the advanced heavy battery here. And also diesel-powered emergency pumps. Cool. At this point, literally everything except tanks will end up going into our reserves here. So that looks good. We do require ladder shooting as well. Beautiful. This is all tanks, so these all head in here. Excellent. Okay, so that's looking good. We're justifying on Nubia. We're constructing a lot. This is a very, very long construction queue. No doubt about that. But our infrastructure is going to be very important here. I would like to reduce our consumer goods factories. I would also like to continue developing these locations. Okay, so as far as our war economy goes, we're not going to be able to get total mobilization. Yeah, that's never going to happen, unfortunately. So our research slot here is going to be going into naval support as well. And we're just cruising our way through all of this. Now we have free military factories. For now, that's okay. We're going to allow it. We're going to be working up our compliance. And we're also currently working on bringing up our amount of manpower, although we're also still recruiting fairly heavily. I mean, we're recruiting 8 simultaneous divisions. That's not nothing, for sure. That's definitely not nothing. Okay, our justification of conquering Salima has finished. So, at this point, we're going to want to declare that, and we probably want to start a justification over here. There we go. Now, we are going to declare on Nubia, and a conquer CB. Nova Scotia is guaranteeing Nubia. Cool. Okay, so we're going to grab these guys here. Nubia will fall incredibly quickly. All we're going to do is offensive line like that. That's the whole thing. Now, Nova Scotia does come in. We expected this. This is completely okay, and honestly, kind of ideal. The major problem is that we don't have a good way to access Nova Scotia, except via Louisiana. The major question here is, does Louisiana join this war? And that is quite a question. Now, Nova Scotia is here. We should consider an offensive line like that. And we should go ahead and do it. We do have a little bit of Nova Scotia that we can fight there. Oh, this is all Nova Scotia over here. I did not realize that. For some reason, I was thinking this was part of Louisiana, but no, that would be part of Nova Scotia, thinking about how the Armenian-Canadian border ended up looking like. So these guys, they could get an offensive line that pushes up to, for now, something kind of like this. Ish. We'll tell them to go. I'm not convinced that we want to have them do that alone as that solo army. The major problem here is if Louisiana or Angelina decides to join, we need to have forces over here. So we'll see. Now, this is going to fall. That's acceptable. I don't care about that. For the time being, Nubia is pretty much already gone. Like, there's nothing left of Nubia. So that's completely fine. Beautiful. No one else has joined this other than Nova Scotia. Nubia has capitulated. Perfect. So this army can now set up... Oh, we'll have them set up, like, on this side of Congo, I suppose. Well, whatever. This is awkward, but it's fine. It's fine. So that'll be okay. And we're eventually going to push in over this direction. I'm just wondering, how strong are we over here? We probably need to bring another army over. But once we have this under control... Yeah, once we have this under control, which we do now, we can move that over here. So these guys then forget about this. They also forget about this front line. And we set up an army group front line right here with these two armies. And then an army group offensive line like that. Cool. So we may see a few losses over here as we shift forces, but this will roughly double our strength in this region. So overall, that should be good. These infantry divisions are going to go into the reserves at this point. We only need tanks outside of the reserves. So that'll be fine. And looking at this army overall over here, I think we'll be okay here. Nova Scotia is huge. That's for sure. If we can be sure that Louisiana isn't going to join in on this, though, then this looks fine. Okay, we definitely want to grab modern ship torpedo launcher here. And I want to check in for Congo. Is anyone guaranteeing? Nova Scotia. I don't really care about that. So for the moment, that seems reasonably fine. I would like to continue to develop the Arkansas bauxite deposits. There we go. That sounds good. And our forces over here are not pushing in tremendously fast, but we also need to remember, supplies over here aren't tremendously good. So I would like to start queuing up some things over here, but it is time to put a cut in here. So next episode, we're going to work on our logistics along this front. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisol, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.